Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. I feel like watching this episode of Days is like watching an episode of Looney Tunes. And as I'm sitting there watching this, I'm just like, would I actually find this a little more easier to watch in some instances if I was a little, buzzed? Because let's start with Lucas. Lucas comes over Chloe's place, which Chloe's still crying, about, not being with Brady, even though she said that she put herself in the situation. So I'm just like, does anyone actually care that she's crying right now? Because she put herself in a situation where she's going after someone who's already in love with someone else. That, to me, that seems like you pretty much asked for it. Literally. So I have no sympathy for her. I'm not trying to be a dick. It's just she put herself in that situation. So Lucas comes over, and at first, he talks about Brady and everything like that, and then here's the thing, he attempts to sit there and try to get back together with her, talking about, well, maybe we're together and stuff like that, and Chloe's like, well, I can't go with my feelings, even though it didn't work out with Brady, I can't just shut him off. I was like, sweetheart, you put yourself in a situation, but I understand where you're coming from. So his whole plan to try to woo her didn't work. You know what he comes up with? I'm like, I don't even sit there and say it. It's like trying to say something that just makes no sense. He comes up with, he has a brain tumor. He says he's dying, and he has a brain tumor. I'm like, what? Listen, I get you want to sit there and save Chloe's life, but this is what you came up with? You have I don't even know where to begin on just like, what? I've read in the comment section that people have said that the stories were better in the 90s and they had all these great characters and the writers were great and this, that, and the third. And you know what? Listen, I didn't watch it in the 90s. I didn't really watch it in the early 2000s. One Life to Live was my thing. But I understand. I get it. I don't know what the hell they're doing now. A lot of, it's a couple people. I think even Brock TV at one point, he might have said something like, they need new writers and stuff. I'm just like, so you went from trying to woo her to, like, making her feel sympathetic for you. I'm just like, at the end of this episode, you didn't accomplish anything. Because she still has feelings with Brady, which means her life is still in danger, and now you just told a lie, a really terrible lie, and what is this actually going to do? That's the best you could have came up with? At this point, you would have been better off just trying to be friends and distract her than whatever this plan was. And he tells Sammy, he calls up Sammy, he's like, hey, listen, so, yeah, it didn't exactly work out the way I planned. That's not what he said, but more or less that's where he was. And that's where it stops. Now, Sammy talks to Brady. And honestly, to tell you the truth, the only thing that, the one thing that I could sit there and take away from what she was trying to do, because she was trying to make sure that Brady was not going to be with Chloe, having feelings for her and everything like that. But basically what she was like, it's not fair to her. It's not fair to her because you're not available. And all you're going to wind up doing is hurting her. And I was like, that pretty much was my whole takeaway from that whole scene between her and Brady. Because she started talking about Kristen, and of course, Brady was like, yeah, I know, she did this, she did that, and she came into the room with the gun and shooting extreme. I'm like, I don't understand how this woman came into the hospital, your hospital room, with a gun, threatened your friend, and somehow you can sit there and say, yep, I love her. I'm sorry. He keeps using the word, oh, she's the mother of my child, and I promised I would wait for her. It's like, bro, do you just have that like written on your hand to make sure you don't forget that? Because you've been telling this, which by the way, I'm not even gonna get just how stupid that sounds, but you've been sitting there telling this to so many people for so long. You've been telling this to Chloe, you told us to Nicole, now you're telling us to Sammy. It's just like, I don't even think you believe this anymore. But you know what? You're kind of a dense person. I mean, you are going out with Kristen, and let's not talk about that whole failed attempt at trying to get even with your grandfather by sinking Titan. I got nothing. Now here's another Looney Tune moment. Sorta. I guess so. So Susan, well, Kristen comes in there acting like Susan, talking about you can't leave. This is the cave. You can't leave because I got a premonition. Something's bad gonna happen to you, and it's gonna be, I don't know, something, or Jake. Jake is gonna sit there and get you. I'm like, Kristen, are you losing your touch, or are you just like, either this woman is losing her touch. I heard she was a force to be reckoned with back in the day. So either this woman is losing her touch, or she's so desperate to sit there and keep Brady in her life that she is just making rookie mistakes. Okay? Rookie mistakes. Sammy will be laughing at you at this point, but whatever. So she's like, you can't go, because, you know, Kate's like, and I'm going to go on this trip with Jake and everything like that. And Kristen gets so angry that she goes from her accent that she's having, you know, with Susan to her real accent, you know. She's sounding less like Susan and more like Kristen. And Kate was like, I'm sorry, you want to say that again? And she tries to play it off or whatever. And Kate is like, no, you sound like Kristen. And when Kristen turns around, like, no, Kate pulls off the wig. And there you go. Now, for some reason, she tried to keep up the rules a little bit longer. She was like, oh, I'm tired or whatever. And Kate was like, alright, just stop. Just stop at this point. So Kristen's like, yeah, you know, Vivian has one over me. She's gonna tell and everything like that, and she's trying to get you two broken up. So you gotta help me out. You gotta help me out. Pretty much at this point, she's literally begging her, like, yo, listen, you can't out me to Brady. I can't go back to jail. I can't lose him. Now I felt like I've seen this before. Right? How's this scene go? Sarah did the exact same thing. Well, you know what? Not my problem. I can't help you. You're not my problem either. You know, you're not going to stop me. Or something along those lines. You know, word to the wise to anyone that tries to come at Kristen or comes across Kristen, don't sit there and tell her that she can't do something. Because 9 times out of 10, she tends to do it. And that's exactly what she did. You can't stop me. She turns around. You turned your back towards Kristen DiMera. I haven't been watching this show this long, but even I know you don't turn your back towards this woman, because when she turned her back, bang, and she's on the floor. She's on the floor, and she's trying to, like, I guess, drag her away somewhere. This woman is really getting sloppy, because Jake walks in, and Jake is like, what? what are you doing? What are you doing? Why is she on the floor for? What's all this about? That's not how he's acting, but I mean, at this point, Kristen's just standing there, standing over Kate's body at this point. I'm sure she's gonna sit there and try to play this off. So this should be hilarious. And I think this is exactly what this is coming down to. Kristen used to be a force of nature. And somehow these writers have reduced her to whatever skit that they're going to sit there and have them do. listen, I don't know what the show was like before, so I can't back this up with anything. But I'm pretty sure, when you hear the name Kristen DiMera, you don't take that name lightly. This is the scene that we're getting. So, I don't really know what to even say about that. Now, Jake was sitting there talking to Gabby, and Gabby wanted, like, the warehouses back or whatever, and they're talking business, but in reality, they're double talking. And Jake says something along the lines of, well, you know what, you can have them back because they were never really mine to begin with. Again, they're speaking in double talk. Now, Philip does walk in, sees what's going on, and, Jacob's like, well, me and Kate, we're going to be just going away on vacation, and, well, pretty much he was like, I'm taking your mom on vacation. How does that even how does that even feel? I mean, we're the same age. If I'm talking to somebody and somebody sits there and say, oh, I'm taking your mom on vacation, how do you respond to that? I just, listen, I've dated older women before, but I've never been on that receiving end as far as being the son or whatever, or the daughter, so I don't know what that's like. Anyway, Philip just seems to be taking it in stride, and, well, Gabby is doing everything that she can from keep him from yelling and screaming and probably crying at this point. Because, she still has a thing for Jake. Even after all this time, I guess they just don't have enough single men on this show. So when Jake leaves, Philip's like, listen, why don't we just go out to dinner or whatever? We can celebrate our small victory. And Gabby's like, no, you could just take me back to your place. Now, I could sit there and say that Philip is a big boy. He understands that, she's hurting and she wants to get over her pain by, I'm trying to say this as non-sleazy as possible, so I'm going to go with that. She's trying to get over her pain and she needs a distraction. Okay, she needs a distraction. And he knows that. But it's a difference between knowing that and being that person. Being that person. Because here's the truth of the matter. And this is what is kind of annoying me. Now I'm just sitting there thinking about this. It just magically annoyed me. The roles reverse. And Philip was using Gabby as a way to get over, I don't know, someone. I'm pretty sure he is in a way, but I feel like it's more Gabby using Philip. But I feel like if the roles reverse and Philip was using Gabby as a way to get over someone, and they literally was just like breaking their heart or whatever, and Philip was like, how about we just go to your place, or you could just come over to my place, whatever. I'm pretty sure there'll be so many women calling him the biggest scumbag on the planet. Now, I know Gabby has a lot of loyal followers and everything like that, so I don't expect most of them to sit there and be like, yeah, you have a point. But I just kind of look at that situation, I'm just like, wow, alright. That's... Anyway, they're both adults, and, listen, if he happens to get hurt with this whole thing, I mean, it'll suck. Oddly, I can't even believe I'm still saying that. But it would suck, but you know what? He did choose this path, being with this woman, knowing that she isn't over Jake, and anytime she shows you a slightest bit of attention or affection, it's not you. It's literally just to get over him. So, you're in a lot of ways asking for it. Now, talk about Chanel, Xander, and Paulina. I am so happy. I'm 98% sure I said her name right. So Paulina comes over to the, I think they're at Julie's place or whatever. And, earlier it's not they're strategizing or whatever, like, nah, we're gonna get this money, we're gonna be good. And when Paulina comes in there, she laughs like this isn't the first time she heard what the offer was from Xander. The offers was 10 million. But when, Xander's like, so I'll let your girl go for 10 million. Now Paulina laughed her ass off, and I'm not gonna lie, this scene was a lot more entertaining than I thought it was gonna be. So she's like, nope, I'm not giving it to you. You, Chanel, could fix your own mess. So it goes from 10 million to 9 million. It goes all the way down to 1 million. So, Xander at this point is like, alright, fine. Now, I don't understand how Pauline is not looking at Chanel, because every time the number goes down, Chanel just has this look on her face like, what are you doing? Why is the numbers going so low? Like, she looks like she is mad or disgusted or unhappy. Even though her mother's not there trying to get her out of the mess that she made. Whatever. So it gets down to 1 million, and, Xander's like, alright, fine. This is after Chanel's like, no, you gave me every opportunity. Listen, the confession that she made didn't made her just look a hell of a lot worse, because she was talking about all the money and opportunities that she got, and she squandered it. And she didn't seem like she was guilty at all. She was just like, yeah, I know I did that, but I learned my lesson, and I can be a lot better person with your help. I was like, Paulina, you can't be this stupid. I know that she's your daughter, but if you can't sit there and see that this thing is manipulating you, what the So anyway, it finally gets down to 1 million. And Xander's like, alright, fine, So Paulina writes a check. The check isn't even for 1 million. I think it's for like 100,000 or something like that. And so Xander's like, he's looking at it. And Paulina's like, listen, you staring at that check is not going to grow it. It's not going to make it the numbers any more bigger. So, I'm going to go. Or you could just sign that thing. You could just take it and that could be that. But I'm done. So finally at this point, Xander's like, you know what, listen, a win is a win. He takes it, and Chanel flips out. Chanel's like, really? She says something. I'm like, Chanel, you gotta be the stupidest character I think I've seen in a very long time. And I've seen some really dumb characters, but you gotta be the stupidest. I'm just like, is this chick serious? Are you... So Paulina looks at her like, what? Oh, I think she was like, oh, I think we were asking for more. She says something where she exposed herself, and Paulina was like, what? I'm like, Paulina, the sad thing is that I don't even feel bad for her. I don't feel bad for her because she should have cut the brakes on that a long time ago. And I get, listen, I'm not a parent, so I don't have that paternal instinct to, regardless of what that child does, you're going to love them regardless. Damn near short of murder, you're going to love that child no matter how much they screw up. So I have to just kind of guess that you can forgive them for a huge amount of stuff. 98%. I'll say 98%. 98%, yeah. There's two things that I don't think that people can forgive, and I'm not going to say what they are. I'll let you guess that. The point is, I'm like, Pauline, you did this to yourself. And how did you not see... Well, I guess maybe she didn't see it. I don't know. At this point, I am just like, Chanel, you're an idiot. You are a moron. At this point, Paulina should probably either just rip up that check and let the chips fall where they may. I mean, hell, she could still cancel the check, which I think that's what she should do. And I hope she does that in the next episode. I hope after she reams her out, she just like, you know what? Y'all deserve each other. I feel like that's going to happen. I really hope that's gonna happen. But yeah, and that pretty much, let me just make sure. Yeah, I think that's it more or less. So yeah, this episode was interesting in a very Looney Tunes sort of way. Now, I'm still gonna rock with the show, but I have a feeling that a lot of people think that this show was better in its heyday. Um, of course, I don't know what kind of storylines they were having. I still want to finish watching that Marlena was possessed by the devil, because that was an actual thing. But yeah, this was just like, wow. I don't know if these writers were drunk, high, or just like, you know what? let's just see what happens when we just write this up. Here you go. What do you think? I don't know. This episode was definitely it was definitely entertaining. I don't know if it was for the right reasons, but Jesus Christ, this episode was it was entertaining. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Be safe. I cannot stress that enough. Have a great weekend. I will catch you in the next video.